before we start this video, I want to thank everyone for your support in helping me with this investigation, just joining the channel and watching the videos, me exposing Loppy and his hypocrisy, and exposing his cult following, blah, blah, blah. As promised, we are getting straight into the interview with the first victim. We might be having another victim reaching out to me soon. They reached out to me on YouTube and said they would love to do an interview with me, so hopefully we get that done soon. I have a couple other videos that are being planned, and yes, these are Loppy related, but we will be getting some other content soon once this is wrapped up. But I'm just going to say this. You're cooked! Bye! Bye, Loppy. Bye, Fel. Nice knowing you. Okay, so as you said before, you know Loppy. He groomed you 4 years ago, and you had recent experiences with him a couple months ago. I want to start off with the grooming, if you are comfortable with that.
I'll tell you, because if it gets Loppy put away, if it helps with this investigation, I'm all for helping.
Okay.
Stated in the DM I sent you around 3-4 years ago when I was 16 to 17 at this point. I was groomed by Loppy by stating, well, when I first met them, they were all nice, you know, the basic start with grooming.
Yeah.
I joined the 13 plus bar group. I was, you know, just chilling, doing my own thing, talking with other people. Loppy had pulled me aside and basically said, hey, considering you're near adulthood and you're basically acting like an adult, how about I treat you like one and give you special permissions only adults get here?
Ooh.
Me thinking it was only a game, you know, being a gullible teenager, gullible child,
right,
said sure, why not? And then that led to Loppy and me doing quite inappropriate things that minors should not be consenting to, nor can minors consent at all. So,
right.
Me not knowing that at the time, I just said, yeah, sure, I give my consent to whatever, and then me and Loppy, you know, did that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Multiple times, maybe 4 or 5 times out of every month.
Ooh.
Even when they were with someone at the time I never knew. They had it not in their bio. They wouldn't say anything about their relationships.
He is
they
known
just
for
said,
cheating
hey,
as well, so I believe
I'm
that.
not doing good. Yeah. That's about it for the grooming.
Okay.
But as of the recent shit, well, my apologies for swearing. It's just
no, you're fine.
The way they
swearing all that
treated,
much.
As I stated, I am a VRC parent because, you know, most parents just give their their kids headsets and are like, take this, do whatever,
unfortunately,
and then
especially
they leave their
Christmas.
kid.
Especially Christmas.
Yeah.
Blessings.
So a few of my VR kids at the time, who I don't really talk to anymore for a reason, we were hanging with Loppy in their group. And then, as a joke, one of my kids had their status as, was Diddy the victim, as a joke. Anybody in their right mind could tell that was a joke. Loppy, being all soft, went, and nope, and banned them immediately. And I got onto Loppy for it. I was like, what the fuck? That's like abuse of power. You could tell it was,
and that was recent,
like,
right?
I don't care. This, and this.
Like
around maybe 3 months ago, maybe 4.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And then my other kids who were around me at the time, I was hanging with them on the roof. Her little fucking ex-girlfriend, Kitty Leah, if you heard of her.
Can you repeat their name one more time?
Proceeds to, her name is Kitty Leah S. And at the time, I was hanging with my VR kids on the roof.
Could be a different woman, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kitty Leah is one of Loppy's exes.
Okay.
Who Kitty Leah is also known for cheating, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
Well, when I was hanging with my kids on the roof, one of my kids were asking me questions about, you know, adulthood and shit. Kitty Leah comes up and starts explaining lesbians to a 14-year-old girl. And I looked at her and I said, hey, you can't explain that shit to a
How
minor.
old?
She went, I don't really.
God,
14. My daughter at the time.
No,
was 14.
Kitty.
Oh, Kitty is in her 20s.
Wow. Okay. So we got Diddy 1,
And
Diddy 2.
as I'm sitting here telling Kitty she can't do that, she looks at me and goes, well, I don't hang around minors, and you know why I don't, because I'm an adult and I'd rather hang around adults. You're in a 13-plus group. Of course there's going to be minors here. Because at the time, before Loppy went all 18-plus, Loppy's groups were 13-plus to match
They're
TOS,
still
I
currently
guess.
13 plus, I believe.
From what I've seen, most of her groups are 18 plus, and she doesn't really do the 13 plus things anymore.
Okay.
But after that little scandal with Kitty, me and my kids left. And then about a month or two, because I blocked Loppy and Kitty, a month or two later, I go on and I'm looking at Loppy's group, because why the fuck not? And 18 plus, right there. Plain as day, changed. I was like, huh, that
For the green
seems
eyes,
really
right?
hypocritical,
When it was called
considering
at the
Loppy,
time?
the green eyes, when it was called green eyes. Yeah, and when I was looking at it, I was like, huh, seems kind of hypocritical, because every time I ask Loppy, hey, why not just do 18 plus? They're like, well, because I find it stupid. It's dumb as hell, and it's not matching TOS. I'm like, dude, nobody listens to TOS when it comes to the age gating. That's why they added the age gated things now.
Yeah, the age verification
like,
for VRChat Plus, something that Loppy likes to forget about.
Yeah. And then Loppy's over here, I don't care. I follow TOS. If you follow TOS, why would you be a pedophile?
Yeah, and if you follow TOS, why would he
this?
make like NSFW? And you know, bars aren't inherently NSFW, at least for adults. They are still NSFW for children, because you have adults that are drunk, they can't consent, and of course they're going to be weird around minors, even if it's not them being sexual. They're drunk, so they're going to say things they wouldn't normally say, and children should not be put in that position. That's why I don't like the Sun and Hangout, wherever it was a different group. That's why I don't agree with it. It's just disgusting, and it still goes against TOS, because it's still considered an NSFW environment for minors.
Yeah.
Now that we also have the age verification, it's just no excuse for them.
Considering with me, I do have a 13 plus group, a safe place for furries, which is 13 plus when it's like, you know, the basic furry hangout and other shit like that. But when I want to do like, you know, adult hangout stuff, I'll do the 18 plus age gated, or I'll just do it at bar and age gated. But other than that,
as long as those two instances are separate from each other and moderation's there to keep minors out of the age-gated events, I'm not really concerned.
Well, the minors can't really get in if I have it set as 18 plus age-gated, unless they're using their mom's account. But like you can tell, because minors will try to hide their voice, or minors will try to sneak in.
When I bartended and had my own bar.
But yeah, with how heavily I moderate, even when I'm, you know, the only moderator there because I'm the owner, and some of my other moderators don't want to be on or can't get on, I still can tell when somebody's trying to fake their voice to get in, stuff like that. Because I've dealt with it. I've been in that situation where I faked my voice, but that was just because my friends who were in an instance told me, hey, come on in. They were 18, I was 17. And I just deepened my voice to sound a year older. But other than that,
as long as I stop doing that, we're good.
That's the only time I would do it, was to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've stopped doing that considering I'm turning 20.
So, I don't know when Fal... I think I was around when Fal was just joining Loppy's group, but do you know anyone named Fal? Queen Fal, by any chance? Snufflies or something like that? If that name rings a bell.
I don't think I was moderator or in their group when they joined.
Because I think she was fairly new when I started first going on Loppy streams about, I say, a couple weeks ago now, 2 months. So she's fairly new.
Yeah,
I just want to ask.
I've been out of their group. Yeah, I've been out of their group and friend group for around maybe 2 months at this point.
Which is
I left as soon as they started disassociating me from my kids and banning my kids for jokes and shit. So
Plus, you kind of realized at that point, he's used you and shit like that. So obviously, you would want to distance yourself from someone like that, which is completely understandable. I would have done the exact same thing you did. Anything else you want to add, just in general? Because the more we get, the more. If that's all, that's all.
What made me more uncomfortable during the little sessions I had with them, they wouldn't say, the basic, daddy. They would say dad and leave it at dad. And it would.
Wait, what are you talking about? You mean when he's done, made you do
when me and Loppy would
ERP sessions? Yeah.
When me and Loppy had our ERP sessions, they would say dad, not daddy. And that shit made me uncomfortable as fuck.
Oh god. Okay, I'm not asking this to be disgusting. It's just literally for clarification. So he bombed for you and he called you dad, right? I'm assuming that's the dynamic here. Okay.
Yeah, so, he left it dad, but not the full daddy part, which caught me off.
Like, whoa. So wait, is he by any chance an age player or little spacer? We know he's a pedophile. That's not new.
No, he's not a little. No.
But does he do any age play stuff? Because he called you dad.
From what I've seen, no. He moaned the word dad, which made me very uncomfortable, considering at the time, I don't know how old he is, but
he is 28, about to be 29 soon, if not already 29.
So this year, about 4 years ago, he'd be 26, 25. And I'd be 16. Yeah, no. Either way.
Imagine he pulls up the Romeo Juliet laws. That would have been crazy. They always
my
pull
state,
that.
Illinois.
Even though he's way off.
My state don't even have that.
No, I'm just saying it would have been funny because I've seen a couple people pull that, and he's far off that age range. Sorry, I had to make a little joke about kind of the mood here. Sorry.
Go for it. No, you're fine.
So that's pretty much it for the interview. We're gonna be having another interview soon, as well as the confrontation of me and Millie going up against Loppy. And I want to add this real quick. Loppy, if you're gonna blame people for harassing you, I don't condone everyone that does it, but I don't blame them either. You're narcissistic, you're hypocritical, and you're very childish. And that's the thing. When me and Millie had to speak to you, it's like talking down to a child. Literally. And that's the thing. Keep saying, well, right here in the chat box is us you exposing yourself. Yeah, it's me harassing you maybe, but it's not me doing anything inappropriate with minors, as you keep blaming on me and Millie and anyone else that's talking the truth about you, that's telling the truth about you. Because all you like to do is you like to self-project. You put the crimes that you did and then accuse others of doing the exact same thing. It's not going to work. And don't blame Sil. He did not send me. Barry and Millie did not send me. While I do work with Millie and Barry, I still make my own videos. I do things within reason so it doesn't hurt them, but I still choose what I do with the videos I make. I choose to do what's on my own time. So do not go blame them for me going in your chat box and, whipping the piss out of you, alright? Those are my actions, not theirs. Let's get that out of the way. And again, you can't be saying, oh, we're not good people, blah, blah. I may not be the best person imaginable, but I care enough to stop someone like you. And again, I think it's funny how you talk so much nonsense about everyone else, and yet people have been coming up to me about the things you did. That other minor, once they come up to me and tell me what's going on, I'll be posting that as well. Granted, they're probably going to be anonymous. So keep it up. Keep it up, Loppy. That's all I gotta say. Just keep it up. Because I know you're watching this video. Because I saw how you reacted to my other one when I told you to go do something to yourself. I was a bit in the wrong, but Loppy, you know I'm not wrong. Bye-bye.
Pretty girl, Dad.